Hey guys, thank you for watching and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mary and I do makeup for moms. Today's video is how to contour, bronze, blush and highlight. Let's get some nose job, some facelift without the surgery. Before you go, make sure you subscribe, like the video and share it. Let's get started. Before getting started, I want to talk to you about contour and highlight for a little bit. When you contour something, you cast shadow on it. And by doing that, either you define it, make it more defined, or make it look smaller. But with highlight, the word is pretty self-explanatory. You make it bigger, you make it more obvious. So when you highlight, especially your nose, you have to be really careful how you do it. For bronzer and contour, I triple layer them. I start with matte bronzer, then contour, of course it's matte, and then baked bronzer for more of a glow and sun-kissed look. The matte bronzer I'm using is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin in the shade 30 Sun-Kissed. And the brush is the Sonia Kashuk powder brush number 100. Now I'm not sure what's the deal with Sonia Kashuk. The whole line is on sale, like extreme sale on Target. I got this for like $3 and it's originally $12. And it didn't work for powder for me, but I liked the shape for my initial bronzer. So that's what I'm using right now. Now you bronze your cheekbones, but where's the end line? The end line is between your ears, or this part of your ears, and it's heading to the corner of your mouth. You're going to stop it at the point parallel to the middle of your eyes. And how you do that is you stop here. You start here and stop here. For me, I take it a little bit higher than this area to lift it a little bit more. I feel it's more flattering on me. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And as I told you before, I powder before applying my bronzer so it's not skipping or splotchy. Now I take it to the temples, really close to the hairline, so it's more natural. I take it to my jawline. And even a little bit on my neck. To be able to triple layer your contour and bronzer, your best friend is a stipple brush. My favorite is the Revlon one, and I have a video for all my favorite brushes. I will link it down below. Now I will use this in a bit. For contour brushes, I go between one of these. If I want blended contour, I go for a domed small brush, and this one is the contour brush by Real Techniques. Now if I want a chiseled, cut, sharp contour, I go for something like that. This one is so precise and it makes it look as if you baked underneath even if you didn't. And that's the Sonia Kashuk number 30, and it's contour brush. And for the contour product I'm going to be using, it's the Koki Cosmetics Powder Contour Palette. It looks like that. It has contour shades, it has banana powder, it has everything you need. And it's very smooth. It kicks a lot of powder, you have to tap off your brush, but it's smooth, it blends nicely, I like it. And it looks a lot like the Kat Von D ShareAlike one, except it's less than half the price. I'll be mixing these two colors over here. This one is too cool for me. Now, I know that you have to contour with something on the gray side, but I can't use straight gray contour because I have warm undertone and it looks so muddy. I find the most flattering on me is the neutral tones, like if I mix cool and a little bit of warm into it, it gives me the shadow without looking muddy. So that's why I'm mixing these two ones, the warm one and the cool one. Again, usually you start right over here, but I take it just a tiny bit higher to make it look more lifted. told you, this is your best friend. You blend everything together so it's not harsh. Now, if you have like rounded or a little bit of a fuller face, you can take this line a little bit lower than the middle, the point meeting the middle of your eyes, a little bit further so it looks more slim. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other cheek. And you always blend upwards, never take it downwards, never. You blend upwards. Then for my forehead and my nose, I will go gray. It doesn't look muddy on the other parts of my face. It just looks muddy on my cheeks. I don't know why, but I find this works just fine for my forehead and for my nose. And I don't contour my forehead too much because it's not that big. If you have bigger forehead, you contour more than you highlight. I highlight more than I contour to get the balance I'm looking for. I still add some contour, not too much. I don't go crazy to make it look balanced with the rest of the contour of my face. And as close as you can get of your hairline. And of course my jawline. Guys, I'm looking this way. My mirror is right there, so that's why. You know what? I can use the mirror from my palette over here. If you want to make this part look smaller, take your contour a little bit further. By taking it a little bit further, you're casting the shadow to make it look smaller. I will finish the face contour and bronzer and then talk about the nose contour. Now let's use my baked bronzer. I'll be using the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade 05 Soleil. And my favorite brush to do that is the Blending and Bronzing by EcoTool. Perfect brush. Again, the stippling brush to blend everything. No harsh lines, remember? Of course, some on my forehead. Now let's talk about nose contour. You have to know your nose shape first, then learn how to contour it, because there are 7 different nose shapes and they should be contoured differently. So you can't use one method for the 7 shapes. For me, I have triangular nose. It's so narrow over here and it's much wider over here. So and it's long. So there is no point of contouring this part, because if I contoured this part, it's gonna look even more narrower and the proportion is not gonna be right. So I start contouring from the wider. When it starts getting wide, that's where I put 2 parallel lines to make it look narrower on this area. Now, if you have shorter nose, you don't contour, and I contour at the bottom as well. But if you have a shorter nose, you don't contour at the bottom and you start the contour really high. You even make it connected to your eyebrows so it's gonna look longer. If you need detailed video for that, Goss has a brilliant video about contouring the 7 shapes of the nose. I will link this video down below for you. I'm gonna use the same brush actually. It's very good because it's kind of stiff, so it gets the line really nicely. And I'm going to be using the darkest color over here. I put it on the tip over here. And draw a straight line starting this area over here. It looks crazy right now. We're gonna blend it out. Just wait a second. I do the same thing to the other side. And the closer the lines, the smaller it's gonna look. If the lines are wide apart, it's gonna look bigger. Then I'm going to use the Sonia Kashuk number 205 to blend this out. And I'm going to use this peachy color over here to blend out these harsh lines. And I will try not to take it up, because if I take it up, the color is gonna go up as well. So I go kind of in one direction. And I take the concealer part of my beauty sponge, this is the L'Oreal one, and I tap over it so it's completely blended in and you don't see any lines. And I take just a little bit on the bottom over here. I'm gonna take some below my lower lip over here. When you cast shadow over here or contour over here, it makes your lip look bigger. For blush, I'll be using the Flower Beauty Flower Pots Powder Blush in Warm Hibiscus, I guess, yes. And I'll be using the Flower Beauty Blush Brush. You never go down with your blush. Always take it up, and the way I do it is I smile and just put it on the cheeks and never go down with it. I go up. I just tap it very gently. I don't go to town like really hard, pressing really hard. Very gently, the lightest touch, so I don't look like a clown and work more afterwards to blend it out. So I try to be careful from the beginning. This blush is pretty. It's pink and it has golden iridescence to it. Beautiful. You almost don't need a highlighter with it, but that's not me. Now for my favorite part of the face makeup, highlighter. I'll be using the highlighter from the palette, from the Sculpt and Lift palette by Flower Beauty. And they have a palette for just highlighters, it has 3 shades. One of them is actually this one, and then other 2 shades. I have my eyes on this palette, but for now I'll be using this one. The brush I'll use, I got it in Ipsy. It's Miss Glam or SL Miss Glam number L36. And of course on the top of my cheeks. For nose highlight, any detailed brush or lip brush in this case will work. I put a dot, just a dot on this tip. Then a line. I do like an exclamation mark on my nose. Now, this is the critical part. We are all tempted to highlight the nose, but if this area is too wide and you highlight it all, believe me, it's gonna look bigger. It's not gonna look pretty. It's gonna be shiny and glowy, but not pretty. So if this part in your nose is so wide and you didn't contour it right, and there is a very wide line over here and you contoured all this line, or you have kind of rounded end and it's wide and you put the highlighter all over it, it's gonna look bigger. So it has to be very detailed. A dot and a straight line, exclamation mark, that's your target. Now the highlighter is not strong enough for me and I feel powders everywhere. So there is a last step that I do to make my highlighter even more glowy. And before getting into this step, I will blend my highlighter over here with a stippling brush because I don't like a streak or a line. I like it to be blended. Now, let's take this highlight to the next level. I have here the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Skin Hydrating Mist. Any hydrating mist or any setting spray will work. But this one is hydrating. I don't want it to mess with my mascara and my eye makeup, so I will do this to make sure it doesn't get in my eyes and spray it on my cheeks. And fan it out. I will do the same for the other cheek. Now the stippling brush, and this is an e.l.f. small stippling brush, and reapply my highlighter. I do like a V or a C, so I take it up and then to the corner. That's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful and enjoyed it. If you like it, thumb up, don't forget, and before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you all in the next video. Bye!